Hello and welcome to episode number 55. Yeah, 55 of Tuesdays at 2. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. British Time, and 8 p.m. European Time. My name is Martin Buckland, and I call myself an executive career management practitioner. And every Tuesday, I share some very vital knowledge for you, the viewer. This week's topic is not really sexy, but it can count you out, or it just gives a negative impression. So not sexy, but gives a negative impression. References available upon request. So I specialize at the senior executive level, those who aspire to be business leaders, EMBA, so Executive Master of Business Administration, and the mining professionals, because where I am here in Canada, it's the capital of mining throughout the world. So please come forward with some questions. It doesn't have to be related to references available upon request, because they're probably pretty limited. Any question that's bugging you or you want to know the answer to on your career management resume, CV, personal branding, how to use social media, I am here for you. I'll be happy to answer those questions right this minute. So as the webcast progresses, please ask questions and I will tackle them, and I will hopefully be able to give you an affirmative answer. So we're going to talk about, it's not really sexy, references available upon request. Am I correct? First impressions count. You have to make that impression, whether it be on a piece of paper, a resume, or a CV, or whether it be in person. First impressions count. That adds a lot of kudos to your candidacy if you are applying for a job, whether you go for an in-person interview or a Zoom interview, and when that resume, your CV, lands on somebody's desk. So think about it. You never need to be outdated. You don't want to be outdated. You want to be considered the number one candidate throughout the whole process. And I bet there are people who are listening right now who undersell themselves or don't know how to sell themselves. So first impressions count. As soon as you have references available upon request on a resume, on a CV, you are considered outdated. I, as a resume writer, and I've been writing resumes for 26 years, I've written thousands and thousands of resumes, haven't written the words references available upon request on a resume for about 15 to 16, maybe 17 years. It's outdated. Don't do it. It's one of the cardinal sins of resume writing. And those of you who've listened to my previous Tuesdays at 2 and on my YouTube channel, I have a lot of information about cardinal sins on resumes or CVs. Remember, let's go back to that original conversation. First impressions count. If you make a bad impression, you might not go into that talent pool and that interview pool where they call you for that vital interview. You want to be in that interview pool all the time. You want to get the maximum exposure. But sadly, if you are considered out of date in any particular way or have a cardinal sin in your resume, your CV, you're going to decrease your chances of getting that call for the interview. You want to get as many interviews as you can. It's a numbers game. So think of it. Think about winning this race. It's a race. Having the words references available upon request will definitely, I can tell, will send you into a different category. Outdated. You want to be on top of the world. So never be outdated. There are various videos on my YouTube channel about multiple other cardinal sins on resume writing or CV writing. So as I say, I haven't written the word references available upon request for up to 18 years. Don't do it. You will be automatically assumed that you are outdated. Where do you have those references? Type them up on a piece of paper and have them take them with you to the interview, or have them ready to send as a file should the interviewer or the interviewers, if it's a panel interview, ask for the references. The moment you're asked for the references, you are virtually in the home run. That's what they're looking for. So that must really excite you. But don't have the word references available upon request on your resume or your CV. So have your references available in a file format, or take them with you if it's an in-person interview. And yes, some of those in-person interviews are returning after COVID, not too common right now, but I see them coming down the road. Maybe in the next 4 or 5 months, there'll be a lot more, hopefully, if COVID dies down. So it's a waste of space. To me, as a resume writer, when I put references available upon request on a resume, it's a waste of space. It takes 2 to 3 lines, because you've got space above, you've got the verbiage, and then you've got the space below. 3 lines to me, as a resume writer, is gold. Every line counts to me to sell my client. So 3 lines is well worth the real estate investment on those pieces of paper, whether it be a 2-page or a 3-page. And remember, resume writing, fill pages. Don't do a page and a half, a page and a quarter, page and 2/3. Either do 2 complete pages or 3 complete pages, not just 1 page. So questions, come on, come forward with some questions. Anything will be acceptable. Anything to do with your career management. If there's something bugging you, or you have a simple question on how to advance your career, how to manage your career, I am here for you. So in essence, I want to really emphasize this. Leave off references available upon request. It's a total waste of space. It instantly portrays you as an out-of-date person. You don't want to be that. You want to be in that candidate pool. You want to be number 1. So leave off. Have your references typed and put them on a piece of paper, and give that file, whether it be online or whether it be in person, to the interviewer. Now let's just take a little tangent here. References are important. You need to check your references as well. There's been a previous Tuesday at 2, and also on my YouTube channel, we're talking about references. You don't want to get to the end and then a reference gives you a bad reference. That is not good. You spent all that time and effort to get to the end stage, and then they get a bad reference. So have somebody check your references for you. What would those references look like? Well, they should be 5 references typed up, preferably, and I know it's not always applicable, but I would have one from a boss, a previous boss, or somebody who led you, who was managing you throughout your career. Make sure they're recent. You don't want something like 2012, 2015, 2016. Have all your references very recent. So a boss or a boss's boss, somebody lateral to you, so level to you, at your level, and then an employee, if you have employees, that would be perfect. And then one from a customer / client, and then the next one from a supplier / vendor. Let's just go back over that again. One from a boss or a boss's boss. That's number one. Number two would be somebody lateral to you, somebody at your level. Number three would be an employee. Number four would be a client or customer. And number five would be a vendor / supplier. Now, LinkedIn, you always need to be on LinkedIn. You need to have more recommendations, more testimonials on LinkedIn than you do in your reference sheet that you hand or send to somebody who's interviewed you recently. So you need to have as many recommendations as you can get. Not over the top, but five per job. So if you've been in 5 jobs, preferably the icing on the cake would be to have 25 references, or they call them recommendations on LinkedIn, because that is one of the screening processes when an executive recruiter or an HR professional is looking for talent. They go down your LinkedIn profile, and if you've got 0 recommendations, or your last recommendation was 2012 or 2015 or even earlier, what message is that going to send to that person? You want to be stellar. You want to wow them. One way to wow them is not to have references available upon request on your CV, on your resume, and also to have a number of recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. So 5 recommendations per job on your LinkedIn, and then 5 recent people you've worked with recently, whether they be internal or external, for the references you hand to either the executive recruiter or the HR professional. That sort of exhausts it. Anybody got any questions? I can see there are people online. Anybody got any questions to do with career management, your resume, your CV, or anything else? Because I'm here for you and I will answer it. I'm ready for you. So anybody got any other questions? I'm more than happy to give anybody listening a free, no obligation resume critique. I go through it from top to bottom. I'll spend for free 20 minutes, 30 minutes of my time going from top to bottom. But I say it as it is. I'm very realistic. Because coming back to the original conversation, first impressions count. One mistake, you can count yourself out of an opportunity. An ill-formatted resume, responsibility-based resume or CV, you can count yourself out. You always want to be considered number one. So I also offer you a free, no obligation LinkedIn audit as well. So anybody who wants to take advantage of that, I will put my email address in the comment section here. And send your resume and then or CV, and then tell me in the subject matter line that you were on just Tuesdays at 2, and then we will arrange a mutual time to have a call. I will go through your resume from top to bottom. We'll go through your LinkedIn profile. Anybody got any questions? One final thing, I have a YouTube channel, plenty of YouTubes. There's probably close to 100 there on a variety of topics relating to career management. May I suggest you go there and please press the subscribe button and the bell button, where you will be notified of all future videos. And I'm in the process of scripting about another at least 20 videos that will help you, the viewer, and those who are watching on the replay, manage your career. Career management is vital today. And with the advent of the economy strengthening across the world, There are plenty of opportunities. Already there's been some conversation in various countries across the world, definitely here in Canada, in the US, UK, that there are shortages of skills. So we have a question here from Stella. Hi, Stella. What's the optimal percentage of job requirements that one must fill in order to apply for a job? Many times we don't fill all the requirements. How to turn around requirements that we don't meet? Now, that's a great question. Let me just read that back again to make sure everybody's got this. What is the optimal percentage of job requirements that one must fill in order to apply for a job? Many times we don't fill all the requirements. How to turn around job requirements that we don't meet. Stella, that's an excellent question. Thanks for asking it. So it's a multi-pronged question here. Now, don't waste a decision maker's time at the other end, but I would apply for jobs where if they got to say 10 or 12 check marks, you see them in the box, the job notice. If you've got 9 or 11 of those, I would apply. If you've only got half or 70%, then you know what, your chances of being called for the interview, remember you're going in a talent pool, you're going in a competition, will be dramatically decreased. So I would suggest 80 to 85% of what they're asking for, but be open and be honest. So in a cover letter, now a cover letter takes you from today forwards, and a resume and a CV takes you from today backwards. It's a historical document. In the cover letter, be open and honest. People are seeking honesty. They are seeking you to be realistic. If you haven't got all the skills that they're asking for, be open and honest in the cover letter and tell them, I would like to draw your attention that I currently don't have my PMP. However, I'm at the 5,000 hours, and when I reach that number 6,500, I think it is, you intend on sitting your PMP. Be open and be honest. Yes, not everybody reads cover letters. That's another topic in itself. But I would not apply for anything that is you have a skill set of less than, say, 80%. You're wasting your time, and you're wasting the people at the hiring authorities' time as well. Hopefully that answers your question. It's a very open-ended question, but I thank you for putting it to me, because it really is a pertinent question. But bearing in mind, Stella, that the bulk of the jobs aren't advertised in the Western world. They are hidden. So your best bang would be for your investment, your time investment in your job search would be actually to seek the companies out you want to go and work for, and then find the person using LinkedIn and their corporate website and other mediums that are available on the internet, other pages. Find the person who would be your boss or your boss's boss. Start networking with them. As we discussed yesterday, Stella, you come from a great university, great academic institution, and you need to use your alumni. The MIT alumni must run in the tens of thousands. I don't know how big it is, but that's like a gold mine for you. So if you want to go and work for ABC Company in Massachusetts, Cambridge, Massachusetts, or New York, or Los Angeles, or wherever, I bet there are maybe somebody who's gone through MIT who works there. You're part of a club. An alumni is a club. You all, hopefully, sadly not everybody takes this, will help others. So hopefully that's answered your question. Anybody got any other questions? Thanks for watching, Stella. Pleasure to give you a free resume critique yesterday. Anybody got any other questions? Otherwise, I will wrap it up. I'm here every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And next week's topic is I am receiving zero response to my job applications. I am receiving zero response to my job applications. Now, that's going to be a long one. I could talk for hours and hours and hours on that. So hopefully you will spread the word. Get your classmates, your alumni to join me next week on Tuesdays at 2 when we will be talking about the I am receiving zero response to my job application. Anybody got any other questions? If you have, you can always shoot them to the email there, and I'm more than happy to answer them during the week. I am here. My job is to help people. I want to get to steer them to their career ambitions, get their job that they want, in quotes, their dream job. And yes, we're coming out of the COVID recession, and there are dream jobs. There will be more and more of those dream jobs available day after day after day as we go into the fall. But remember, July and August are the two best months to job search. I'll leave that with you because that sows a lot of seeds in people's minds. They think, oh my gosh, no, that's not true. It is true. July and August are the two best months to look for a job. So ramp up your job search now. You've got about another 6 weeks. Happy job hunting. I will see you next week, Tuesdays at 2. And please feel free to email me, the email above, any questions that you have on career management. Have a great week, stay safe, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 2.